Kebe, are you there?
Yes,
We are live already.
yes, we are live. Can we start now?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on location you are following us tonight. Tonight again, welcome to May. This is our first edition for the month of May, and tonight we'll be discussing on the topic: Who is medicine? Why? What it matters? Tonight I'll be serving as your host, Kebe SF Bala, and
Okay, so I'm Deep Bernard Myers tonight. I'm also here as one of the panelists for tonight's discussion. Food is medicine. What you eat, matters. Is a very interesting discussion. So, Kevin, I'm so excited, to have this conversation tonight with you and the rest of the team.
okay. So while we await our guests for tonight and others to join us, in Marathon, please play a short musical break for us, please.
Voices of hope, living. Yeah. Oh, my TV, light in the world. My TV, shine on the screen. Voices of hope, living the dream. From Africa's heart to the world we see. Truth and culture. Maya TV, Maya TV, bringing light each day. Stories that guide us, show the way. One love, one voice, one destiny. Welcome to the future, Maya TV. A vision was born with a purpose so true. Buena Mayas, we are new. With faith and courage, the journey began. Building a platform for every man. Through trials and growth, the light stayed strong. Turning every challenge into a
Okay,
oh, my TV, light in the world. My TV, shine on the screen. Voices of hope, living the dream. From Africa's heart to the world we see.
Okay, welcome back. If you are just following or you are just joining us, tonight we'll be discussing on the topic who is medicine, why what you eat matters. So, Myers, for tonight's topic, how in your own perspective, why you look at it, like if someone say who is medicine, how do you see it?
Okay, thank you to you, Kevin, our host for tonight. This topic is very essential. So whenever you hear food is medicine, because it trying to give us a clear understanding, right? Trying to tell us that what we eat, help us when it comes to our health, right? So food is not just a food, it plays a key role when it comes to maintaining our health, right? So food is medicine because one, it helps us when it comes to balancing our nutrition, right? Support our body functions and prevent what illnesses. So a lot of times you see some of us we get ill. Sometimes we get to the hospital. You see that the doctor or the nurse is going to ask us a question. Uh, have you eaten over the past time? Why you ate this and that? Because they want to know. Sometimes those illnesses that our body face with today is because of the kind of food that we eat, or sometimes the kind of time that we eat. There are a lot of us, Quebec, we face the most especially when it comes to our setting like you, right? When it comes to our timetable, when it comes to the eating business, has become a serious problem today in our society. So whenever you hear food is medicine, meaning it is it give us what it give us that health and nutrition, right? Because our body can need nutrients, right? It need fight. Our body need proteins. So how do you think we get those things? It's through the food that we eat. So in order now for our body to remain strong, to remain balanced, we must be able to eat because we get protein, fats, and how you call it, carbohydrates through the food that we eat. So once we are not eating, at the end of the day, we will have to take medicine, that will balance us with those favorite things that we need for our body. So tonight's topic, food is medicine, meaning those proteins, carbohydrates, fats that our body needs, we have to get it from a particular food. Because if we doesn't get it from the food, meaning what's gonna happen to us is we end up going by vitamin medicine, we end up going by proteins, medicines and other things. So it become problem for us, and which of course it is not a healthy life for us. So I'll stop here for now, and we will continue.
Okay, thank you, one Myers for this speech. Our guest for tonight just joined our show. Welcome, Mr. James. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, thank you very much. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, oh, okay. Thank you. And I'm sorry for coming a little bit late because I was actually out and I have to rush back. That is the reason why I couldn't be in traffic and then join the conversation. But albeit, thank you for inviting me and thanks for the show. It's quite interesting. The topic on the discussion. My name is James Ruzi Gonke II. And of course, I studied psychology at Sharda University in India. And it's a pleasure to be right here with you guys. Thank you for the invite again.
Okay, Mr. James, thank you. Mr. James, thank you for.
Mr. James, can you just mute your mic?
Mr. James, thank you on behalf of the Myers TV. We say thank you for being here tonight and thank you for accepting our invitation. Okay, back to our audience. If you are just joining us tonight we are discussing the topic food is medicine, why what you eat matters. Mr. James, sorry you are just joining us. So like for tonight, based on the topic, when we say food is medicine, what comes to your mind?
Well, like I said, that's an interesting topic, and it's actually good that we discuss this thing because there are a lot of people out there, most especially for those of our people who maybe are in Liberia. With no disrespect for anyone, Probably people who don't, are not educated to that extent, they don't know that what it is sometimes affect their health, either positively or negatively. So the issue of discussing this topic, I think it will help a lot of people, and it's actually quite interesting. And one of the big mistake people might want to make is that this topic is not just another topic that should be just treated as any other topic. You know, it's not something abstract, or too scientific to discuss. Because from our daily life, food has always been a contributing factor, even if you are not educated to that extent. Even our old people back in the villages, they understand that food is actually vital to their health. Because let's take for an example. Someone is in maybe in the hinterland. They will not call any place's name, maybe without the respect. People who are in the hinterland, some of them haven't gone to the hospital before because even the clinic that doesn't even have good medicine, the only thing maybe they rely on is um, like those painkillers and all of that. They still have like 5 to 6 hours to walk to go and come back. So for their whole lives, they sometimes don't even go to the hospital or to the clinic. So what is keeping it healthy? Even though they are still working, there are people who have to farm, who have to be gatherers, who have to work through their daily lives to making sure that they have food on the table. What is keeping it healthy? I think the answer is food. So every single thing we eat is either helping the body or is stressing it. Food is just it's not just for what you eat that fill your stomach. Someone people should just understand it. In discussing the topic, people should be able to understand that what you eat that fill your stomach is not what we are talking about. When we talk about food as medicine, it's not about you eating plenty cassava peas and you think that maybe you drink some more water and you get full, means you have eaten food. Food is not just about that. It's like the information system that sends signal to your body, and your body will react either negatively or positively based upon what you eat. This is based upon what you eat. Now, when you eat a healthy food, balanced diet, it contributes to better energy, clearer thinking that deal with the cognitive aspect, stronger immune system, and your immunity become very strong and resistant against infection in your body. And once your immune system is strong, illness is almost out of your range. And these things all comes with eating better food, right? So someone who eat poorly, let's take for an example, just eat one food without maybe eating vegetable and other types of food. Now, the body still responds. There is no doubt about that. The body still responds, but the response becomes negative, so negative that their health becomes deplorable. So food is medicine. Basically, means that what we eat daily either prevent us from getting diseases, infection, or other illnesses, or it slowly contribute to it. People don't know or they won't understand that their body is actually slowly getting diseases. They won't know. You are still moving, yes. You are still working, yes. We understand. But do you know that these food that you are eating, those junk food you are eating, is also contributing to slow poison sometimes. Some of them they don't know. So what does it mean in a real life scenario? Think about somebody who eat very heavy food, the fat food every day. At first, what happens to them? They feel so satisfied. They feel so refreshed because imagine eating fat food. It's heavy. It make your stomach full, and sometimes for maybe a few times you become very energetic to do work. But over time, what happens? You start feeling tired. You start getting fatigue. Psychologically, it start draining you. You start gaining weight. So you're just eating one food because of you want to get better food, something that someone may say the common sense. and maybe sometimes having headaches. And people just feel that maybe, oh, because I talk plenty today, or maybe I'm in the sun too much. Do you know that sun too also contribute to your health too as well? Because everyone need photosynthesis now. But people just feel that because I'm in the sun whole day today, or I spend maybe 1 or 2 hours, working. So I'm sure that's why it gives me the headache. But what kind of headaches that will come from the sun that always hamper your life? Like every time you having, the headache that can't go away. And at most, you get poor sleep. The sleep quality is also is dependent on the kind of food you eat. So now, let's compare this scenario with a person who eats simple home cooked meal, like I was talking about our people in the hinterland. Simple home cooked meals, and they are mixed with vegetable. Sometimes while gathering fruits, they eat some fruits, and after eating, they drink enough water, right? Not the Western way of eating what when we're eating, and then we have juice right by all and filled with sugar and all of that, and we eat and we drink the juice, or we eat and drink Coke that has almost like 15% sugar. That person who eat poorly usually has more and no stable, energy level, and they have more health complaint or complications as compared to someone who eat very healthy food that have fewer health complaints because the body sometimes, no matter what you do, sometimes from maybe from a psychological standpoint, because I'm a psychology student, sometimes I always love to bring it in. So maybe sometimes your problem comes from birth, from developmental stages, maybe from conception or maybe during your prenatal stage. Yeah, so sometimes it affects who you are. It affects your cognition, probably your body regulation, all of that. That is out of the range. But we're talking about what contribution food have on your body. So so compare these two scenario now. They are the same body. We have the same body but different fuel. So those different fuel completely bring you different outcomes. So this is a contrast that people need to understand when they are preparing their food. These are the contrasts because there are differences. It's not just about eating food just for eating food sake. It's not just about that. It's about eating the proper diet, like the balance in a diet system of what you are taking because you are not in your stomach. There is no way that you can look in your stomach all the time like you do with your skin. Because if a rash is on your skin, you notice it very fast and maybe you will go and get a cream to remove it. But what is in your stomach? Who knows that? And many people don't know what kind of contribution the food has in the body. Now, I don't know whether I should continue or maybe you want to ask many questions and I can continue.
I can continue.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. So now we will now shift to how the food affects our energy and mood as well as our health. Because, like I said, you guys had to pardon me. I'm a psychology student. Yeah. So most often we have to blend these things because it direct health rather, and health matters. A lot of people don't realize that food and mental states are really connected, and in practice, they are really connected. They are solely connected because the roots of our happiness, our energy, our mood regulation, and overall our health is dependent on what we eat. Yes, I understand that people get stressed from environmental factors. Even the food is one of the environmental factors, anyways. But from environmental factors that people stressing you out, and you have people emotionally draining you with verbal attacks or like physical assaults and all of that, you get depressed, you get anxious and all. And we understand that. But with food, you will not know, but why is it I'm feeling tired today now? Or why is it that for almost 2, 3 days or even a week, why am I still feeling tired? Even though there is no stressor, there's no stimuli that is maybe causing this the kind of fatigue I'm feeling right now. So now you even think about that. But have you thought of it that maybe it's the food I'm eating? Obviously, many people don't go to that. Sometimes, yeah, many at times, people don't even think about that. They think, what they think always like old people will always say, I think that I've been bewitched because I'm not sick, nothing happening to me, but why I'm just weak, why my body is just poor. They not take me to carry me on water, just common saying, and then you start blaming someone, start making wrong decisions, maybe breaking your relationship with people in the community or in your family. So on the other hand, a balanced meals with things like rice, yeah, vegetable, protein, and some healthy fats. So now it releases energy slowly because once you eat this food, the energy that they don't comes at one. It's still there for some times, and the energy slowly get distributed across your system. Now with other fatty food that you just eat just for maybe the benefit of better food, they give you just that one time, how do I call it? Satisfaction. So eating this healthy food, it helps you stay focused. That's why I say it's connected to our cognitive ability, our brain regulation, our mood, and our overall health. It also help calm you, and calm has to do with our mood regulation and active throughout the day. Once you have this food, better food, you'll be active throughout. Now, let's connect food also with our behavior. Do you know that food also have something to do with how we behave? It does. It also has something to do with how we behave because a good and healthy food will have you good emotional stability. Once you have emotional stability, emotional intelligence also comes in, and once you have these things, you have a good behavior. But if food is stressing you out, you're always stressed, you're always feeling anxious because of the kind of food you eat. Because you feel that someone is hampering your health, or probably from a spiritual standpoint, a supernatural standpoint, people are playing with your health. That is the reason why you are not you eat all the you eat all the heavy food, and still you are not healthy. You still will become poor in your health, and other people think that, oh yes, they my grandma, yeah, you man at all. That how people can start to like point fingers at other people now. People that are very much innocent. You see, so that that also affects your behavior because it affects what kind of decision you make. Your decision of just pointing finger to someone and say, oh, maybe that the person doing it wrong, or in fact, people have bewitched me, and your behavior changed from that point. People who you used to be friendly with, and people who you like always go around and you have some discussion with them, or probably eat from them, you feel that maybe you got poison from them, and as a result, your relationship with those people become very poor. And once your relationship become poor now, you want to stay away from them. Abstention comes right in. So social distancing, that is not from the angle of maybe someone having infection, you want to keep your distance, but for your own thoughts, for your own thoughts that someone might have or may have. All those thoughts come through your head. As a result, it affects your relationship with people, and that decision can also hamper your health. Because let's take for an example, you are feeling this kind of weird way because of the kind of food you eat, right? And you're not discussing with other people. I'm feeling like this, and maybe someone, maybe just maybe someone might have an idea to say, oh yes, maybe have you been eating this kind of food or this type of food? I advise that you start eating, a mix of all those food. I'm sure you will get what you want. Since you say you are not actually ill, but you feel tired, you feel sometimes anxious, you feel sometimes depressed. I'm sure it's not for anything. You know, many people know about these things and they are educated to understand they can help you to walk you through. So if you're not going around people because you think that people are bewitching you, what happens? Your decision, even affect your health. Sometimes it lead to some people who don't have uh, good emotional stability, or they have that weak mindset. Sometimes it lead to suicidal ideation that leads to maybe committing suicide. People who commit suicide sometimes it's not a life got tired with them, or someone maybe try to fool them, or maybe other people stress them out to understand. But it's because just common decision that come through your head, right? That come through your head. You get stressed out to that extent. Yeah. So let's talk about common mistake people usually make, more especially when it comes to selecting their food, selecting the kind of food they eat. See, many people try to skip meals. That one little thing you do by skipping meal, and you feel that, yeah, I still get energy, or maybe I don't want to eat. That one thing you did, it affect your body, but you won't know. You wouldn't know. You say I'm skipping meals all the time now because I want to lose weight rather than exercising. That also affects you, and it backfires to understand that it hurts your health. And as at the end result, when you skip meal for sometimes, they at the end result, what happens is you start to overeat. So what you were escaping now is what you got. Because for a few days you have been very hungry, even though you are not used to that, and you want to skip vegetable, you want to skip eating fruit, you want to skip eating fat food, little bit of oil, all the things they have the minerals, they have it produce energy, and all of this. So you have been skipping it, but then when your body is responsive now, negatively responding, that I really need it, and you say, okay, let me eat. What happens now? You start overeating, and you still gain the weight you were escaping. You still gain the weight. You feel weak because once you eat, once you are hungry, you don't make good decision. And someone can bear witness. When you are hungry, you don't make good decision. Even me here,
Definitely, definitely.
yeah. Even me, even myself. When I back in school, if I'm really hungry, if maybe eating gari is just for maybe for the appetite. If I'm hungry, I buy even more gari, more of it. And do you know that kind of unprocessed cassava that people eat? It contribute to yellow journal and all of that. So you eat it plenty because you want to get your stomach full at that particular moment. And what happens is once you eat that kind of food, that kind of junk food, when the good food comes before you are already full. So you escape that good food. So it's still affecting you. It's still going to affect you because there is no good nutrient. There's no good nutrient in that kind of food you are eating. You rely, or probably you rely solely on sugary food with too much sugar, like drinking Coke all the time. You get used to it instead of drinking water after meal. You are not realizing that they are just adding up empty calories. There is no calories in the kind of thing. It gives you that satisfying moment at first, but you don't have anything, no nutrient, no real nutrient within it. Because when you drink Coke, for an example, because it contains more, I know, caffeine or something, it produces that kind of effect that it make you full. It make you full. You just drink whole bottle of maybe the middle sized bottle of Coke. You won't feel like eating. You won't feel like eating. But what is in it? No real nutrient is available because it's mixture of sugar. The sugar is too much in Coke. But you drank it just because you wanted that moment so that you can get filled. Instead of drinking water to balance your energy level. Water contributes a lot because it's among the even though it's among the types of food, but many people don't consider it as a food, but it's actually cardinal because whatever, even the other five types of food, when you eat it, you still need water. So it becomes very, very important. So another big issue is over dependence on processed food. And people think that when they say eat good food or eat healthy food, they feel that you should eat the Western food. But people don't also understand that even most of the Western food are not even healthy. Let's take for an example, processed food. They're always processed and placed in a can. They can once they still longer than the time it's supposed to, it produces cancer. People get cancer, they don't know how they get it. But I stay small, why I get cancer? Or cancer is not in my family, where I get it from? Who told you it's inheritance or maybe heredity problem? No, it doesn't come from birth. But the kind of food you eat, the decision you make when you choosing your food types. And a lot of people normally eat food that is in plastic, right? It is in India too much. Indians depend on food that is processed in plastic. You don't normally see them eating in pan, like rubber bowl or maybe the breaking bowl. Most of the foods are processed in plastic, and it's hot, and you put it in plastic. Plastic, the chemical that was combined to actually make that plastic is still present, and combined with heat, it releases that poisonous gas. It releases that poisonous uh, 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 um, stuff in the food. And sometimes most of that food that are in plastic, sometimes it gets exposed to the sunlight because they're always vending in the streets. So the ray from the sun combined with that plastic, how you call it, the chemicals, it still go back to the food, even though some of it evaporates, but mostly it go back to the food because the food also has humidity, a little level of humidity. Once that humidity kick off because of the action of the heat, the chemical will still go back on the food. So what happens? You start getting cancer. Other people start getting diabetes because of the sugary food. So these are problems. These are big mistakes that people do and that people make by depending on the over dependence on processed food. They feel that processed food because you see it in a can container, it's very neat and unique. You feel you don't have problem. Some of them they would take it from there. They don't cook it. Do you know that some of them is just little bit heat that they process that thing with, and sometimes it really need heating up so that some of those bacteria that come from the machine can actually die. But people just feel that once it comes from a process a factory, it's good to eat. But most of the junks they send to our country sometimes is packed with bacteria. Sometimes it's stale food they over freeze. Sometimes food that have overstayed for 1 year in the freezer that people in their country don't eat is what they process for Africa, more especially to a poor country like Liberia. So as a result, people have different complications, not because of Liberians don't have good food or they don't have, dietary food that they can eat to be healthy. That's why comparing people who live in the urban part of Liberia and that level of cancer, diabetes to the people who lives in the hinterland, in the villages, I think the ratio for that on a scale of 10 is 7/3. People, the percentage of people living in the hinterland with cancer problem
Mm,
is
mm.
three. It might be 3%, and people who lives
Wow.
in the urban areas, they have 7%. So you see, it is because people in the city areas they don't farm, so they depend solely on processed food. But what about me who lives in the village? I farm. I go to farm and plant my rice, and I have pepper that is planted on my farm. I have tomatoes. I have corn. I have a plum in my village. I pick it at times and eat it. I have pineapple. I sometimes eat most of it all the time. What would make me to not have that balanced diet? People don't know that they are eating balanced diets, and they don't even know. They think that balanced diet is about the processed food. No, most of the processed food don't contain. It does not contain the balanced diet you're talking about. Most of the minerals, most of the proteins, and all the things that is formed in fish, in meat, and all the things like that you have over time because of the time you have overstayed in the container subtraction. It has subtracted a great deal of those minerals. So what you are eating is junk food, contaminated with a lot of problems, diseases, germs, and all of things. So you see, these are problems. So to continue before maybe there will be questions. We we have difference between healthy and unhealthy food. So like I was just saying, healthy food does not mean that the processed food, right? And the unhealthy food even also doesn't mean that because you are in the village and you are eating your rice you planted from your farm or your plantain or bananas you planted on your farm, you are eating it. It means that it's not healthy because it's not processed. The great difference is that you are eating healthy food, and those who are eating the processed food are also eating unhealthily. Even though it comes clean, it comes in a pack, it comes in container that from the outside it look very clean, but inside the food is draining the chemicals from which they made up those plastics or those cans. Canned food is actually one of the factors that are causing serious health complication when it comes to heart problem, heart diseases, hypertension. You talk about cancer sicknesses. And the rate of cancer sickness, the USA has higher rate of cancer sicknesses as compared to people in Liberia, most especially in the hinterland. Why is it so? USA is very robust when it comes to technology. They have food processing factories and they are very developed. Where are they getting the illness from? The air they breathe is very great because most of the time they spray the air maybe for contamination, personal gas, and all that stuff. But why is it they always have these problems? It is because the food. It's not just because of maybe poisonous gas going to the air or probably acid rain that sometimes comes, but it's because of the kind of food they eat, the kind of choice they make when they're eating food. They eat food and drink juice. Juice that is actually mixed with sugar, a lot of sugar. Even most of the food you eat too, it also contains sugar. Some of the food they also contain sugar, but then you drinking juice or Coke that also contain mixture of heavy sugar. Why you eating? You eating a balanced diet or you eating healthy food? You are eating empty calorie mixed with small amount of healthy food. So which one will take effect? The greater, the more effect it will produce. So the healthy food once it's in low quantity over the as compared to the unhealthy food. So the unhealthy food take place a fight. Your body immune system becomes weak. To fight little disease, it becomes very, very unlikely. Sometimes when people start developing somato symptom, somato disorder, that because of the food you eat and all of those things contributing, becoming a contributing factor. Little problems like headache, it hurt more than what doctor can see. If you see that other people always visiting the clinic or the hospital, they feel that something is wrong with them. But naturally, when doctor treat them or check them, They don't see any problem. But they feel that they actually have a problem. They actually have a problem. That's what they always feel. They feel that, but I have problem. My head hurt. There's something. In fact, they feel that they have, in our common language, they say open more because your head hurting, and you hoping that when a doctor check your score, there might be a hole in your score. But doctor said no, you don't have that. Even your brain is still intact, but you are still feeling the pain. Even though the pain is natural from your own feeling, the pain is actually natural. It's somatic symptom. You feel the pain more than what doctor can see. These are all problems that come with junk food, eating unhealthy food. You see? So these are problems that come. And one thing that people should know that let's be clear, healthy eating is not perfection. You don't have to be perfect with every day eating the healthy food. Yes, because it's expensive. Healthy food is expensive. You will need the fresh food all the time. You will need the avocado. You will need the banana. You will need plum. You will need all the things. You can provide it all the time to make it perfect that you will not skip any of it. No, but at least on an average, it should be more than most of the junk food you eat. So it's not about perfection. You see, it is about making better choices often. Often. The word often doesn't mean that always, but at least most of the times, most of the times, eat healthy rather than eating junk food all the time. So some practical advice that people might want to actually hear is that no one need to change anything overnight. Just encourage simple habit like do not escape your meal. No matter what happens, eat small amount of it. It will help. If you are sick, yeah, we understand that sickness contribute to loss of appetite and all of that. But try and eat, more especially the healthy food. Even contribute to fighting the disease or other illness you have. Drink more water and instead of sugary food like drinking Coke, all those juices that have maybe sugar contents. No, at least eat one fruit or vegetable on every meal. You don't have to be perfect, right? Like we said earlier on, you don't have to be perfect with it. But at least one fruit or a mixture of vegetable in your food is actually encouraged, even though it's hard because many people are not used to that. Many people are not actually used to that. But try to have it encouraged, make it a kind of habit, make it a habit and reduce fast food. The fast food we eating in India, we don't know is actually trying to trying to deal with our health, but we think it's enjoying. It's refreshing because it's quick. We don't have to cook. We don't have to spend money. You have maybe 10 rupees, you go buy samosa. How is it prepared? The preparation process, when you see it, you feel disgusted. Yet, we say since since heat added onto it, probably it's still edible. That edible thing you're talking about, edible, is actually contributing to that your health problems. All right, you just need to
Okay.
listen to your body. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. James,
Mm.
for being like what you're saying, especially with the fact that you
Mr. James, can you just okay? Thank you. Who
food
wasn't
is not
getting? You
just
can
to
speak up.
eat. Okay, food is not just to eat because we want to get food. Like it's about the balance diet and the nutrients that in the food. Thank you so much. Maya, do you have anything to say concerning like any of your inputs you take during Mr. James discussion or teaching?
Thank you, Susie, and thanks to Mr. James. Mr. James has said it all. This issue of the food that we eat today. is something that we have to be very careful with. And one thing I wanted to stress on has to do with the environment as well. You know, our hygiene system, because when you try to prepare a food, right? What kind of environment are you preparing that particular food within? Like Brother James just mentioned, you're gonna see these guys in India here, their hands all on their face, all over their body, but yet they are facing sambusa for you to eat, right? Looking at the kind of hygiene systems and other things, right? And just go and put that thing there, give it to you at the end of the day, you eat it, and today it caused serious problem for us. It causing serious problem for us today. Another thing he said, those food, also affect when it comes to our mental health. It's something that we have to take very, very serious because food affect our brain functions and mood. You understand that he said it as well, right? Those kind of food that you eat, right? Because whenever the stomach, right, whenever those things are go within, right, within the stomach, whenever you find out like your stomach is you are feeling some pain, feeling uncomfortable, right? What happened at the end of the day? It also affects you mentally, right? Because it's like, what is happening? Because you don't know what you have eaten. What in the stomach you don't really know. You will not take those food that you eating. You will not try to take it one after the other, one after the other. You just eat, and you don't know the kind of bacteria. Even though there are some bacteria are very good for the body, but those one that harms our body, you don't even know what they are inserted within those food that you have eaten, right? What happens at the end of the day? Whenever you start to feed those unstable pains, those pains that can no longer be controlled, what happens mentally? You become depressed. And we have to take note of that because our mental stability is also matters a lot. Another thing, right? And he said it, food is a chronic disease management, right? And he's talking about those diabetics. We have to control the kind of level of sugars, those kind of level of sugar that we take in. He said, he gave an example. You as an individual, you just get whole bottle of soft drink. You don't know their kind of caffeine, those kind the high level of acid doses that are being placed within it. You just take those things and you just drink everything. You don't even know at the end of the day, it become problem for you. Right? Our body today need nutrients, and we talk about fats. I think I mentioned it previously. We talk about fats. We talk about proteins. You have to eat some vegetables sometimes. It is not all the time because we know most especially when it comes to our country, the thing of vegetable is very expensive. But at least once in a while. And another thing is, we as a Liberian we should try to make our own food. Try at least like a little backyard. You can try to plant some vegetables there. You can try to plant some things there. We have a very good soil in Liberia. And once you try to have these things behind your yard and other things, every time you are looking at it, and once you grow and try to eat it, it will also help you. It will also cause down expenditure. But once we are not taking these things into consideration, mind you, as I work within the operation room, there are a lot of patients who have come there only because of the kind of food, the kind of balanced diets that they take in. They will come to the operation rooms, and at the end of the day, you see now the thing you are escaping. You are trying to go through it because you play with your own health. You play with your own health. You damage your own health at early level, right? And sometimes another thing that our guest stated, those there are some symptoms that once you see them, let's stop being our own doctors. Let's reach to the hospital. Let the doctor try to plan. Sometimes you just, I ate this kind of, these are the kind of food I'm eating, but I'm seeing, I'm feeling this kind of way, right? Let the doctors also help us to prescribe, and those food that will help us at least to keep us healthy because food make us healthy. If you are not healthy, at the end of the day, what happens? You become sick. And once you begin say going to the hospital every time, definitely you will have to go on a treatment where we talk about the medicine aspect now. There are a lot of us today, we are not, our guest said it right. Those people from the rural area. See how many times do you think they go to the hospital? How many times do you think they go to the hospital? They don't really go there because they plan their own food. They make sure that they are able to eat their own food that they plant. And all those things that they plant is very good. It's very good, right? You see the people plant their cucumbers, plant their bananas, all these vegetables things, right? All the proteins and all the things they get it from there. And it have helped them a lot today, right? It also helping them a lot today. So we that in the in Morovia or the urban area that I can say, right? Let's try to look at it strategically, our little backyard, try to make use of it. Also know the kind of food you eat, the environment, as stated here before, the kind of environment you face those food in, because the environment matters a lot. That's the first thing when you try to do this introduction to food management and other things. You try to understand that environment matters a lot. Where they facing those food, right? He talks about those cans, food and other things. There are a lot of us sometimes we don't have the time. A lot of us today we take our work so serious, which of course is very good, and we forget about our health. And at the end of the day, every time you go into work, you send it for the canned things and other things to eat it. It is not bad, right? But know that it's damaging you a little bit, because those food are all processed food, right? You have to eat those cooked ones, right? Sometimes you have to eat those cooked ones. Like you said, you just take things from a cup, quickly. There is no nothing like you try to, recook it, nothing like that. But rather you just try to consume it. And I want to let me conclude by saying, a lot of us who are working our guests said, do not forget about your meal. Sometimes we leave working, and sometimes we even forget about having our meal. We don't like, oh, they work this, they work this. These excuses. Sometimes all the money that you are going to work for, at the end of the day, you are going to get everything back to the hospital or the doctors. These are problems we face in our society. So in order for us to not face these problems, let's try to work on, let's work on our timing. Before you go to work in the morning, even if there's hot water you can drink, try to drink it. Let something be in our system, right? While you are at work, at the time of 12, 1 o'clock, try to eat something small, right? That will keep you, that will keep you strength. And at least 3 to 4, you also try to look for something to eat that will also help you. Because if you don't take this eating habit very serious, you will damage your health, and you won't know that you are damaging your health until then you reach at that point of being hospitalized. That's the only time you try to understand. So this topic tonight, we shouldn't take it very lightly. We should take it seriously, because it's something that every one of us needs to work on. Even us as a students, right? We try to forget about eating habits, right? We forget about, hey, we are so worried, stressed on assignment, on test. It's so good to think on these things. But sometimes while you are also making your time for study, also make a time for your own personal health, right? Try to eat something, keep you, you need to be healthy. So, and how can you get health? How can you get that healthiness that you need? Is a food and other thing that you have to consume, because our body need nutrients, like we said. And how you will get the nutrients from the very food? So if you just master study, it's very good, and forget about your eating habits, it become problem for you tomorrow. And at the end of the day, I said it before and I'm saying it again. Before you made up your mind, you find yourself hospitalized. That's the only time you try to recognize, and you're late, you are already there. Sometimes there are even like our guest said, and I'm trying to make references on him, because everything that he said, is in point, right? A lot of times we go to the hospital and doctors tell us that, oh yeah, this kind of, you are a little bit ill, you are suffering from malaria, typhoid and other things. Yes, they give you the medication, and they also encourage you, right, to try to at least eat something a little bit. But why we decide not to do it, where we'll just go home and take the medicine on, in fact, empty stomach? At the end of the day, how do you expect yourself to get healed from that sickness? It's impossible. At the end of the day, the sickness began worse on us, and we want to blame sometimes the medical practitioners or other people around us. No, let's change that kind of mentalities around us, because this life we live, your health matter a lot. Your health before what? Those money you are making, if you cannot take good care of yourself, you will rather spending everything back at the hospital or somewhere else, in the name of your health issue. So let's prioritize our health. Our health is our what? Everything that you're looking for, the riches, everything. Let your health be rich first. Then you can try to do other things. Thank you. I'll stop here for now, Kevin.
Okay, thank you, Marius. Thank you, everyone. And another thing I want to add on here, according to the statistic of education, usually the food we eat these days, especially when it comes to the canned food, we notice that the non-communicable disease have increased, which is the cancer, the heart disease, that because of the food we eat. Most often now, people are not watching their balanced diet, like what our guests here. People are just eating. Most people eat junk food. Sometimes some people don't even eat at home. Their homemade food now. You'll see like some people will be very comfortable to just walk into a restaurant to eat, and forgetting to know that restaurant food are mostly a sleep. They'll just take it in the next morning, they warm it, then they eat. Like this compound was discussing certain topic like in my class, and one thing our coordinator said is that our own self are putting like into us the toothpaste we have. So the toothpaste we are using because he told us he said there's certain things they write on the toothpaste is very small. You don't see the writing because they can tell you say that if a child swallow the toothpaste, it can cause problem for them in their system. So he was like telling us if a toothpaste can affect a child, we that are taking it daily because every day you tell me that you brush, you will definitely take small quantity of that toothpaste, like you putting it in your system. You know what it actually doing? It affecting your system. And he was saying that some people can say, oh, they don't like to eat food, they want to eat restaurant food. You know how they prepare those restaurant food? Sometimes these are food they can have to eat fish for 2 to 3 days. Then the moment the customer comes to the want the food, they will just put it in the microwave. They will microwave the food, then they bring it. So you are like, we ourselves damaging our own well because they're the things we do, the food we eat, we feel like the junk. Sometimes you see someone eating fatty food, so they extend you want to be eating burger leg. Most of the you know that people follow the trend. Like some people will be following television program. The moment they see people advertising like the pizza, most of them if you notice that they'll be advertising show oh they full like that, they full like that, you notice straight. Like once there like if you know Dominion. Dominion is one of the people that sell the junk food like if it comes to pizza, all those stuff. They have a offer they can do every time Wednesday and Friday. You know what it does? That if you buy one, they give you one. Like on my campus, you'll notice the little Indians every time they will be like going to you see Friday and Wednesday. If the time they can buy, you can just see a boat going delivery. So what I have on that friend said, you guys still you see the children over there house. That's how now she explained to me. She said, oh no, is it Dominion always do every Wednesday and Friday they do a big they have a big gift and a big sale. You buy one, you get one. So you notice that all those programs people have on the internet, like sometimes you see somebody doing about that, you see somebody eating one type of KFC chicken, and the next day you now are sitting watching the program, you want to try it the next time. I can remember when we came to India first, we take KFC to be somewhere a place that every weekend, if you not go KFC and meet that the weekend and start with you. For you to know that they at the end of the day, some of us time they see we start all laughing the partners. Like for me personally, I experienced it in the aspect that I wasn't too big, but I start feeling like I was getting, I start feeling tired. I start feeling weakness in my knees. Like even sometimes if I sit down in class, the way classroom can get noisy, the moment people start making noise, my head can be pounding. So when I was doing like training at the hospital, I did my own test. When I wrote test, I said, I didn't see anything. The only thing I see there, my WBC is low. So I was like, when I started I noticed, I said, ah, it should not be because I'm getting too far because nobody ever noticed it. I said, it should not be having. That's how I started exercising. And all these things to explain, if I come from school, I started getting lazy because I need more sleep. And that's the more time the appetite for food. You want to eat any hour, anything you see, you want to eat it. Whether it's like it's very proper, is or you following the balance diet, no, but we want to expect them in India the 2 week chicken, the India 2 week chicken will get part of it. Anyhow it be, whether a fully grown, not grow as long as 2 week chicken will only. And for him to know that we all know that, especially in India, the chicken they give the 2 week chicken they give it injection for the chicken to grow so fast to the extent that and all these chemicals we taking it like what our guest said, there are certain people that don't even cook that chicken, they can just kind of season it, they fry it. It's all let's go eating. So when we notice that, so we check like our followers are following tonight. You know, sometimes we all along those common things. Sometimes we blame like, oh, we are getting sick. Now if we even watch, like even in like Europe, if we watch that what causes increasing the non-communicable disease in like currently, it's because of those food that people can bring. They store food them. Because people, you know, they can come on the ship and definitely they'll have to put a chemical on the chicken they can bring for it to sustain it for a number of time will be on that ship or before it around. And definitely they come. Sometimes if you go back in the market, you see how some of the chicken they can be looking. It can tell be looking weak, but also sometimes I know it is hard, but we need to like wash because if we wash the food we eat, It will actually help us in a way that will prevent many diseases. Okay, so I stop there for tonight. Person
You
now
know,
come
Susie,
to yes.
Susie, let me say, right, our guest said it, he's talking about, those are bodied need nutrients, and we talk about the carbohydrates, we talk about the proteins, we talk about fats, we talk about vitamins. All these things are needed within our body, and we just should not take it very lightly, because when we take them very lightly, we're going to face serious, problem today. Susie, like you said, it is not bad. You talk about KFC, you talk about it is not bad. Once in a while, you can consume these things, but it should not be a consistent habit. Once in a while you can consume these things, but it shouldn't be a consistent habit, because sometimes it is not all the time we have to eat a fully how do you call it, a fully cooked food, right? Sometimes somebody have done that we call it, right? Somebody have done foods and other things are good also for our body, right? But it is not something that you have to practice every day. You go and buy how you call your tomato and what have you, all those things. Then no, sometimes you have to sit down and then have this whole food, right, and not the processed one, because it's something that our body will try to our immune system, right? It works psychologically, like our guest said tonight. With our mind, or our brain, whatever, right? It works with it. Whenever you eat anything that is not good for the system, what happens is send a signal. And once you are not, what happened at the end of the day, try to play on you. Like you said, Susie, when you went to the hospital, you saw what happened, right? After you tried to eat those food, and one day you decided to check at the hospital, you went there and you were told that your BP, is very low. What happened now? You try to play on you mentally, right? Sometimes you try to feel afraid about what is happening, you try to get out fears, and other things try to come over you. So it is good that sometimes we eat these things, but it is not advisable that it should be our constant habit. That's a doubt I wanted to play, right? KFC, you call your dominance and other things, it is good, but it should not be something that you make your continuous habit, no, automatically. Because sometimes our body also needs those, how do you call it, those processed foods. Sometimes it's not all the time, though. So thank you, Susie.
Okay, thank you, Maya. Okay, Mr. Jim. Now we come to the real life scenario in our seminar. So I'll be asking you some quick questions. Then guys explain to us, please. Hope that is okay by you, Mr. Jim.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. No problem. No problem. I'm here.
Okay, okay. Okay, the first question is breaking, eating fast food daily, and feeling tired or guilty. What happened actually in that aspect?
Well, like I always stated, eating fast food, like the process that they pass through to make those food, sometimes it's not hygienic. Like Maya was just saying, it's not hygienic. The environment is not clean. The quality is not actually good. Comparing to India, where we are right now, air quality, most especially to where I am, is actually not good. It's one of the countries that have very, very poor air quality. So all of those things contributing to open vending that they always do. The vent in the street, most of that food is not covered, and you go in the open space, buy food, eat it in an open space, and knowing that that is going to hamper your life or your health. So eating those junk food also contribute, like I said earlier, it contribute to fatigue. It contribute to lower energy level, which also have consequently have some effect on your cognitive ability. So your thought process when you are ill, it change. Your behavior also change. It will be impacted negatively. It responds. You eat food, any kind of food you have a response. But how is it respond? What kind of response do you have? Is one thing. Either you get negative response or you have a positive one. Negative one come in the sense of having a somatic symptom, where a little illness make you very worried excessively because the kind of thing you're feeling is not what that doctor is seeing, or probably because what haven't happened to you before is happening to you now, cognitively affect your mental state, right? Your thought process becomes different. Your behavior becomes different. Your behavior towards things that you normally do becomes different. Like you were just explaining, going to classroom, feeling heavy, feeling of fatigue. Like for me, but it happened to me as well. Coming here, and for sometimes, we as men or boys, cooking becomes very very hard for us to do, most especially when you just come newly and you haven't got yourself around to get adjusted, so you want to buy food. The food is not as compared to what we buy sometimes in our country, so you rely on it for almost 3 4 months. Imagine you rely on Indian food for 3 4 months. Fatigue kick in. Going to classroom, I feel sleepy. One teacher is saying, if I'm staying sitting as longer time sitting down, I feel very very sleepy. And during the heart of the heat season, the summer, when I'm sitting in a room where the heat is too much, or even on an average, it's not too heated, but at least I'm feeling some heat. I feel sleepy right there. Forget it. I would just want to go to sleep right away. Sometimes I'll be sitting in class and my eyes are closing, and some of my friends would ask me, "Are you sleeping?" So all of these things, I said, but this has been happening. It hasn't happened to me before. Why is it now? So I kind of think of it. I said, oh, but I'm sure this is the problem. So since I change now and then try to get your own home cooked meal when some of my brothers came around and try to help with cooking and all of that. I think it's subsided because also I got into exercising and all of that. So eating junk food on overall, it affects your overall health. It affects it too much. Compare yourself to people who are eating their daily meals, yeah, at least eating one fruits or vegetable at every meal, and you that is not eating fatty food just for belly full. Compare yourself to them. Who is going to be affected positively or negatively? So you know how to judge between that. So that's the problem that comes with that.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Maya, not for you, please. We are running out of time now. Please be short to your friend. Just be straight to your friend. Mine is as a student because we all know we are students because most of you like for me I don't normally say I don't like to eat in the morning. Because most of you if I eat in the morning I can feel comfortable, comfortable in my like system. I just like to just drink water every morning. So like for the student now skipping meal and lacking energy, if someone tell you what comes to your mind like that.
The last part I didn't hear you. The last part, can you repeat it?
Students skipping meal and lacking energy. If you explaining your real world scenario.
Okay, skipping me right. Okay, thank you so much, Susie. So let me just go to when I was on the hostel, Mr. James was just explaining his on the side of the story. Yeah, it's on the side of what he experienced, right? So when I was on the hostel, right, a lot of times I used to go to the hospital, and you know why the doctor was always telling me I have to stay away from the food. Imagine, right? Our people have already paid the kind of money, right? They have paid already, including hostels and what have you. I went to the hospitals almost, I think, 4 to 5 times, and the doctors were always telling me to stay away from the food. And staying away from the food, I'm like, wow, but how am I going to make it? Because you just come here, the parents, your sponsors or parents know that, oh, they are already paid for food, right? So you trying to call for extra money for food is another thing. So I was like, how am I going to make it? You understand it? So what happened at the end of the day, I start to skip, like you said, I started to skip some of these food, right? The meals and other things. And you know what happened to me? I completely drew down. I completely drew down, right? Because I was like, when I eat a food, it causes problem for me. So let me just stay away from this one. Let me stay away from the wound. And I started to drew down. And it was a serious problem for me. At the end of the day, I had to be buying medication. There where we talk about uh eat food as medicine and not medicine as food, right? So at the end of the day, because of escaping those things of what the doctor have told me, not having extra cash to go and buy food, right? To eat, what happened at the end of the day? I had to buy medication because every time I had to suffer from stomach pain, every time abdomen pain, every time abdomen pain. So you see, if you as an individual, right, or as a person, it is good. Like I said, it's good early in the morning you wake up, even if you don't have rice and other things. Like when people will love our rice, you don't have all those things. You drink your hot water, and later you can try to get something to eat. So whenever you try to escape your meal, I come to the question, it becomes serious problem for you. It cause serious problem for you. Most especially, you see the thing we call ulcer today. A lot of people, you check today, you get to the hospital. A lot of our people today are suffering from ulcer. Why? Because the thing of having their meal is become a problem. It become problem. We escape it. Feel like, oh no, this. We give whole lot of excuse that it's not necessary. So I would like to advise us, right? Like be it the circumstances you are undergoing, do not try to escape this because whenever you try to escape it, it cause problem for you. The time the meal that you're supposed to take that will help you as a medicine now, at the end of the day, you end up buying medicine now to treat those kind of thing that you don't want. And it becomes serious problem for you. So escaping your meal cause serious danger for you, serious health danger for you, serious problem for you. Abdomen pains, it cause a lot of things for you. It cause even there are a lot of things it cause for you. So I advise that we always take it very serious. Thank you, Susie.
Okay, thank you. To our audience, if you are just joining us tonight, we are discussing who is medicine. Wow, what you eat matters. Okay, now we are wrapping up now. Mr. James, now to you for your partner statement for tonight.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for the invite. And actually, it was rewarding to actually have been invited to speak on the topic. But before I leave, I just want to, try to let people know because when we're discussing these things, and people might be wondering, then what kind of food, uh, what are the benefit of some of those things? Which kind of food have this kind of vitamins? People might be asking the question, even though, of course, we're not encouraged. So I think thinking in that direction, people should know the kind of food, the types of food. We have carbohydrate, we have protein, we have fat, we have mineral, we have vitamin, and we have water. Now, what are the helps of carbohydrate within the body? Carbohydrate are foreign food like bread. They bread you can be eating. You have carbohydrate, you have rice, you have cassava, you have potato, you have yam, and even fruits. Some of the fruits they have carbohydrates. So what help does it give you? It give you a breakdown to glucose, and then it helps with your brain and muscle. It helps your brain and muscle. It fight weakness, dizziness, unable to focus if you skip it. If you skip it, you will also have dizziness. You have unstable focus process. So now, the next one is protein. Yeah, basically the building blocks of our body. As someone who really know may know, protein I find in food like you can find protein in food like beans, like egg, fish, meat, milk, and the common thing you can eat peanut, the one we call granules. Protein are found in these things, and they also help the body uh, to build and repair tissue. The cut you can have on your body and the thing that can make it get repaired, you don't see so again. These are things that helps. So you should be able to eat those food. More especially for children, they need that. So we also have fat foods, and this is where people get confused. Many people think when you say fat, that kind of, when you say fat, how people understand it from the little man mentality thing. Many people think of fat always as bad, but fat is not bad. But healthy fat are actually very important for the body. And which food produces fats? You have nuts, you know, all of those nuts, those seeds, avocados, the one you call butter pears. You have fish, and also it contains oil. Okay, so and it also produce vitamin like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. These are the vital vitamins they produce, and they also support brain function. People who skip these things sometimes they have problems with their brain function. Your brain sometimes have other issues if sometimes most often you don't eat these foods, and then heart problems. It also not eating this food also lead to heart problems and weight gain. You can also gain weight. All right. So the next one is vitamin. You have vitamin. They are key, one of the key groups of food. Even though the body need them in small amounts, vitamin are not in huge amount of other types of food. They are mostly found in fruits and vegetables. You know, vitamins. They produce vitamin C, which help your immune system fight infection and other diseases. It make your body to fight diseases, and then you also have vitamin A that support good vision. People who don't eat this kind of food, sometimes you will still be in your and maybe in your early adulthood and you start facing eye problem. You need glasses to read. You need glasses to look far ahead. Sometimes you have myopia or presbyopia eyesight. And these are problems that comes with not eating this kind of food. So you need to eat it. And then with all this food, you have fatigue as well. You also have poor immunity as well. So let's go to mineral. Mineral are also working in close connection with the one we just discussed, vitamin. So this includes things like calcium. When you have a calcium, potassium, iron, and zinc, these are the benefits of consuming minerals. So you find them in food like green vegetables. You also dietary products. Like the host, I mean Maya was saying, um, dietary products are also encouraged because some products that are processed they also contain those diets, the balanced diets. You have supplements and all that stuff that also comes. They are also processed. So it doesn't mean that they are not good totally for the body. But the choice you make is what sometimes hamper your health. So meat, beans, and a whole grain too can also produce those things. It can also come from consuming mineral. So the calcium also help to build your bone. They make your bone stronger. So if you haven't been eating calcium since you were born, consider what will happen to you. You have a weaker bone. All right, you have weaker bone, and your teeth will not be that strong in your mouth. You see, you will start experiencing fallen teeth at your young age. All your teeth move in your how they call it in your mouth. And iron also help carry oxygen through our blood. When you have iron, they are the one who take in. When you study action potential, you will understand what I'm talking about. Maybe in another episode, we will have to talk about that. So if you study action potential, you will know how they work. You know, so they help to carry oxygen within the body, and then potassium also supports the heart and muscle function. When people lack mineral, they will experience issues like weak bone, amnesia that make you weak, and then you also have muscle problems. These are silent issues that build up within your body. It doesn't come just at once. The other illnesses, it start building up small, 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 small. You start facing bone disease. Your knees start getting, aging. From the old man they get it now. Their knee, they can't stand straight. Their body don't stand straight. All those things because they are lacking those foods and mineral within the body. And then lastly, what is not actually mostly considered part of the six types of food, but from a general perspective, they are really, really needed is water. So finally, water is very, very important. Don't underestimate water. Water is very important. Not always seen as a food, but it's one of the most important thing the body needs because all of those types of food we just underscore all discussed. When you're consuming it, you still need water. That's the only way you get the minerals out of them. That's the only way you will get the benefit you want from out of it. So water also help with digestion. Before when you eat a food, you eat a fatty food, you eat all the types of food to put out a waste product. If there is no water, you get congested within your stomach. You get constipation, other things like that. And circulation too is what water also helps with. The blood circulation. It also help to regulate your temperature, how your body feel cool or hot. Right? It also remove waste I just said from the body. Without enough water, people feel tired, very, very tired. They get headache. Just consider you're not drinking for two days and see what will happen to you. You will experience a high headache and your body system it will slow down. So these are things that happens if you don't have water in your system. And so thank you for listening again. And it's a privilege to actually be on your show. And one of these days too, I'll invite you on my show. So thank you for inviting me. Sorry that I wouldn't put my camera on today. I was actually in a rush and when I came. So Miles and I'm forgetting your name. Sorry.
Susie.
Oh, Susie, Myers and Susie, thank you for inviting me. It was actually nice to be with you guys tonight, and yeah, I'm encouraging you guys to continue because our people actually need this kind of help, like education. Education is not about just going to classroom and sitting there and teach you everything, but actually people can learn from these things, and once they take it into practice, always they have the best benefit out of it, rather than even always going to school. And the benefit is immense. So thank you for inviting me. My name is Rosie James II again, and I've been wonderful time being with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So can I go now? I have another meeting pending.
Okay,
Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you guys.
okay, Myers, your participant for tonight. We are tonight.
Okay, thank you so much. So yes, my parting statement. I want to give a few practical healthy eating tips that we can follow, and it's going to help us a lot. Our guests have already said it, most things. So one, eat more fruit and vegetables is very important. Let's take our eating fruits and vegetables very seriously. We shouldn't joke with it. Number two, let's choose the whole grains over refined food, right? Like we talk about those tomatoes and other things, right? Those food that those cans thing and other food that they bring to you, right? We are not saying it is completely bad, right? But we say take the whole food most importantly than those other foods. Another thing, limit sugar, right? And processed food. Let's try to limit the kind of sugar we consume, right? We like our guests were saying, and we said it before. Those soft drink and other things that we try to take in, like we said, contain more calcium. So we should try to limit it a bit. It is not every time we take sweets into our body. Even some of these foods that we eat also have sugar. We should try to limit it, and definitely it's going to help us. And our guest said it, and this is what I was just coming to, right? Still hydrated. Let's take our water habit very, very serious, right? One person that it was very difficult for me to, try to consume water or try to drink water, right? It was a problem for me for some times, right? But after that, I went to the hospital. I was told you have to drink more water, right? Your water level is very low. What happened at the end of the day? I tried to consume most water, and through that, it has been so good for me. It keeps you healthy. That I would guess, yeah, it's very important. And lastly, let me say, food choice directly impact health outcomes. Adopting a healthy diet is a powerful tool for preventions and healing, right? And the last one is make conscious food choice or choices for a healthy lifestyle. So for you to get a healthy lifestyle, you should try to make a good food choice. Those food that you eat, because why you consume matters a lot. It matters a lot. It determines your health, your healthiness or unhealthiness. So I want to say thank you for joining us tonight, and thanks to Susie for the time. I do appreciate.
Okay, so our followers tonight. Thank you for following us tonight. Thank you for the show. My advice for you out there is be watchful of what you eat, the food you eat more vegetable to help prevent you from diseases out there. So be very careful with the canned food, like you hear from our guests. These are most of the food now increasing significantly these days. So stay tuned. Friday will be here to discuss another episode for this one. See you Friday. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, my TV, light in the world. My TV, shine on the screen. Voices of hope, living the dream. From Africa's heart to the world will see. Truth and culture, Maya's TV, Maya's TV, bringing light each day, stories that guide us, show the way, one love, one voice, one destiny, welcome to the future, Maya's TV, a vision was born with a purpose so true. Buena Myers, we honor you. With faith and courage, the journey began. Building a platform for every man. Through trials and growth,